Welcome to Juggernaut's Retro Reviews, and this is number 6 of my Retro Reviews. And today we're going to be reviewing Great American Bash 2004. And we are not reviewing the Great American Bashes from WCW quite yet. We're going to be waiting to review this after I get done reviewing every WWE pay-per-view, which that's going to take a few years. And then we're going to be reviewing the ECW pay-per-views, which that's also going to take a few years to do. Excuse me. But we are reviewing Great American Bash 2004. And this show was held on June 27th, 2004. And it was from somewhere in Virginia. I can't remember where in Virginia, but it was somewhere in Virginia. Oh, Norfolk, Virginia. So it was held there. Which I don't really take notes for these pay-per-views, but I read pretty much the, what do you call them? I'm trying to figure out the word. I read the results for the Freedom 4 from, what the heck you call it? Wikipedia. That's what it is right now. I'm on Wikipedia. But let's just go ahead and get started with this. And also, I just want to thank, I just want to wish everybody a safe Independence Day. I just want to wish everybody a safe 4th of July. I hope everybody's safe out there, and I hope everybody celebrate the way they celebrate 4th of July. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this. So, the first match I got kicked off with was a Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship. It was an elimination match. John Cena was defending the title against Booker T, Rene Dupree, and Rob Van Dam. So, this was a good match, really good way to kick off the show. And a lot of this show wasn't the best, but there were good matches here and there on the show. So, let's just go ahead and get started with this right now. So, the first person who got eliminated was Rob Van Dam, and the next person who got eliminated was, Rene Dupree, and then the last person who got eliminated was Booker T. This was a really good match, like I said. And the whole storyline behind this match was pretty much Kurt Angle. He was the general manager, and he pretty much put Cena in this match, and they were kind of feuding a little bit. I mean, they've been feuding since 2002, and they've been feuding since this. They've been feuding on and off. But this was a good match, like I said. Everybody held their own in this match, and it was a really good way to kick off the show, and I really enjoyed it. But in this match, got about 15 minutes in the match. Well, actually got about 16 minutes, as I see right here. So, yeah, but good way to kick off the show. And then next, we had Luther Reigns with Kurt Angle defeat Charlie Haas with Jackie. And I wasn't the biggest fan of this match, and the whole storyline behind this match was pretty much Kurt Angle, he was in a wheelchair, and then Charlie Haas was getting interviewed. I think it was by Dawn Marie. Yeah, it was by Dawn Marie. And he was getting interviewed by Dawn Marie, and then Kurt Angle came up on his wheelchair and with Luther Reigns. And pretty much Kurt Angle said, you know what, you pretty much became nothing now since you left the, a few years ago they had the World's Greatest Tag Team. Or no, Team Angle, that's what they were. Or were they World's Greatest Tag Team? I'm pretty sure they were. Yeah, they were the World's Greatest Tag Team. And then, no, they were Team Angle. Well, it was Team Angle. You get what the point I'm trying to say is. And pretty much said, you're going to go up against my person. You're going to go against my lackey, pretty much Luther Reigns. And so that was the next match. We had Luther Reigns versus Charlie Haas. This was pretty much a squash match. I mean, they were just trying to push Luther Reigns, which they were trying to push a lot of these guys, which, SmackDown back at this time, they were pretty much the person who made most of the stars. They made Rey Mysterio, they made Eddie Guerrero, they made a lot of these, up and coming stars. And Luther Reigns, they were trying to push him up, but the thing is, they never went anywhere with him. And he was impressive, but they tried doing stuff with him, but this never worked out with Luther Reigns for some odd reason. But I mean, this was alright match, but there's pretty much a squash match, like I said. Charlie Haas, he hasn't really done much, ever since he wasn't with Shelton Benjamin anymore. I mean, ever since they split apart, I mean, they really haven't done much with Charlie Haas. So, I mean, this only got like 7 minutes, and really wasn't much in this match, though. But, I mean, they tried pushing Luther Reigns, like I said, but, I mean, I really didn't know much too about him. But, I mean, I heard of the name before, but at this time, but I didn't really know too much about him. But, yeah. I didn't really see much of his matches back in the day. And then next we had Rey Mysterio defend the Cruiserweight Championship against Chavo Guerrero. And now the best thing about this was there was actually a storyline behind this match. The Cruiserweight title. Usually we had the Cruiserweight Opens, pretty much. And I'm surprised that this match didn't kick off the show because usually the Cruiserweight Championship usually opened off the show. Which, like I said, I'm surprised this match didn't kick off the show. And this was probably easily the best match of the night. This was actually, I'll say second best match of the night. But no, this was the best match of the night. This was a very good match here. I really enjoyed it. These guys have both really good chemistry, and I love the whole storyline behind this. Where, pretty much Chavo Guerrero, I think Chavo Guerrero beat him at, Rey Mysterio beat Chavo Guerrero at, the No Way Out pay-per-view for the Cruiserweight Championship. And then at Mania, they were the final 2 competitors in the final 2 competitors in the Cruiserweight Open. Which, I mean, these guys, they always put on great matches. They have really good chemistry, and they both have the same type of background, which was really good, high-flying, really quick-paced action, which I really enjoyed this out of the match. It was just a great match here. Fun match. But the winner of the match was Rey Mysterio. It was a really good match here. And, they would continue feuding down the line of 2004, like the rest of 2004, they would continue feuding. So, yeah, really good match here. And then, next match we had was, I'm going to probably botch this, Kensuke Suzaki. Defeated Billy Gunn. Once again, this was another squash match on here. I mean, they were trying to push up like pretty much Luther Reigns, Shuzaki, and Mordecai. Yeah, that's his name, Mordecai. That's the same one here. They kept trying to push these guys, which these guys never really did anything. They did a few stuff with them, and then they pretty much all these 3 guys pretty much fell flat on their face. I mean, they didn't do too much with them. Which we'll talk about Mordecai in a little bit. But, I mean, Shuzaki, he was alright. I mean, looking back at him, he kind of reminds me of a little bit of a Shinsuke Nakamura, kind of. But Shinsuke Nakamura is so much better wrestler. I mean, he does more of the strong style. I mean, he did some nice kicks and stuff, or he could remind me of like a Tensai type of person. But, I mean, not very good match here. And Billy Gunn, I mean, I'm surprised like that he was still in WWE at this point. I mean, he was like about 40 years old at this point, and about 6 years earlier, he was, he was part, at the peak of his career. I mean, he was at the peak of his career about 6 years before this. But then, I mean, he was still going strong at this point, but the thing is, I don't know why he was still with him, and he didn't really need to accomplish much more because, seriously, I mean, he didn't need to do much more at this point. But, alright match here, but the winner of the match was, like I said, Kenzuko, whatever his name is. I'm botching the name right now. Sorry about that, though. But, like I said, it's pretty much a squash match. Then next we had Sable defeat Tori Wilson. Oh my gosh, Tori Wilson, she was my favorite back at this time. I mean, seriously, I mean, she wasn't the best wrestler, but she was great. I mean, she was pretty much eye candy. That's what she pretty much was. But not a good match at all. I mean, pretty much. I mean, what we see Divas now, I mean, pretty much on the SmackDown side of things, they didn't have a women's title back in the day, so they pretty much had to force storylines. They had to make their own storylines without a title around it, which I kind of like that. Which now today, we don't really get that, but now we're starting to get that with them bringing back the women's division. And back in 2012, back before this time, they didn't really like in the PGA, or like in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014, and part of 2015. Well, pretty much during the year 2015. And in part of 2016, they didn't really do too much with the divas or the women's. They didn't really do too much storylines. But back at this time, they had to create their own storylines, which I actually like. But this wasn't a very good match. And this kind of going back to the Billy Gunn thing. How was Sable still around? I mean, seriously. I mean, she's hot though. Don't get me wrong, she's hot. But how was she still in WWE at this point? I mean, she was at the prime of her career back in the Attitude Era. And same with Billy Gunn. He was in the prime of his career back in the Attitude Era, but she didn't really need much more to accomplish. I mean, she already accomplished everything that she needed to accomplish back in the Attitude Era, so she didn't really need to be around. But I mean, seriously, both of the girls were really hot, but they didn't really do too much for the match. But Sable won. She rolled up Tori Wilson, which Tori Wilson, I mean, I loved her on the cover of Great American Bash. I mean, she was a great sponsor, for like the whole Great American Bash cover, and for America, supporting America. I'm joking, but whatever match. But both these girls are hot though. That's pretty much all I cared about. And then next we had Mordecai defeat Hardcore Holly. Once again, another squash match. Didn't really enjoy this match at all. Mordecai, I mean, I never knew too much about this guy, and I think they changed his character a few times. I know he was in WWE like around 2000, and like he came back like when they revamped ECW, but I don't really remember him too much. And the whole storyline was this: they were like trying to have him feud with the Undertaker, pretty much, because they were having this pretty much storyline where he was a person who went after all the sinners, and then he attacked Hardcore Holly on like a SmackDown a few days before this. And then pretty much he attacked Hardcore Holly on SmackDown before this, and pretty much they were like, "Oh, Hardcore Holly is a sinner," or something, blah blah blah, like that. He was pretty much going after all the sinners and all the bad people. Like, he was supposed to be this big god, and then they wanted to try to feud him with the Undertaker, but they went nowhere with that. They didn't even feud him with the Undertaker. Like, so why was the point of bringing him as Mordecai? Like, seriously, why? Why did they do this anyway? It was like so pointless. But the winner of the match was Mordecai, but nothing special. Yeah, pretty much a squash. Like I said, Mordecai, Suzaki, and Luther Reigns didn't really do too much on this show. Like, they tried to push him up, like I said, because at SmackDown, back at this time, they were making stars, but they didn't really do too much with these guys, so I don't know. And then next we had JBL defend. Well, JBL was going for the WWE Championship, and he was facing Eddie Guerrero, which Eddie Guerrero was defending title against him. And this was a Texas Bull Rope match. I was never the biggest fan. I'm never the biggest fan of strap matches, like, or chain matches, or whatever you call them. I'm never the biggest fan of those matches. But these guys, I think this was probably the best strap match that they ever had. Fun match here. We had some blood during this match, which we don't really see blood much in this day anymore, which I'm happy to saw blood in this match. But this is a really fun match. I mean, pretty much in this whole storyline, I think at No Way Out they were facing each other, and pretty much JBL, he used a chair and got himself disqualified. Was it at No Way Out? Yeah, it was at No Way Out. I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, it was at No Way Out. 2004. But pretty much Eddie Guerrero, he was like pretty much the underdog in this match. I mean, he got beat down a lot during this match, but I like that whole storyline now that JBL just dominated Eddie Guerrero. But the winner of the match was John Bradshaw Layfield. JBL won the match. And who would ever thought, JBL would become a big WWE champion, because he before this he was a tag team person with, he was Bradshaw before this, and he was part of the APA, and then he became a big star after this. I mean, looking back at this is crazy. You never thought JBL would have become a big star. And this he was about a 1-year champion, but then seen to be him at WrestleMania 21, and yeah. But this was a good match, and pretty much we thought that Eddie Guerrero won because we thought that he touched the last turnbuckle, but pretty much John Bradshaw Layfield touched it. JBL touched it because they replayed it, and we saw that JBL touched it. So yeah, and then Kurt Angle came out and said he reversed the decision and had JBL win. So, but fun match here, really bad. I'll say second best match tonight. So yeah. And then next we had the main event, which I don't even know why this was the main event, because this match wasn't very good. This was only about 15 minutes. We had a handicap concrete crypt match. The Undertaker defeated the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Devon Dudley with Paul Heyman, and pretty much it was Paul Bearer. He was in this crypt, which I think they pre-recorded this. It's weird how they did this, because it wasn't actually Paul Bearer in this crypt. It was I'm not gonna try to explain it because it's just hard to explain, and you guys are probably like, what the hell? You guys are gonna probably be confused, but Taker won. That's all I really need to say. And then after the match, pretty much he said it's inevitable. Pretty much it's time to rest in peace, Paul Bearer, and he didn't really get cemented. Paul Bearer did not really get cemented. But it was just a weird way to end off the show. Pretty much pretending to have Paul Bearer die. They wouldn't actually kill someone. A Taker wouldn't kill anybody. But I just thought it was a weird way to, a really negative way to end off the show. I thought they could have just ended off the show with the WWE Championship, because I don't like when the main title doesn't end off the show. Really, why that? That's just weird in my opinion. But it was a decent match for what it was. Different type of match. I rather saw a casket match instead of this match. Just have Paul Bearer in the casket, and if we would have lost, close the casket on Bearer. I don't know, do something like that, but it was a different stipulation. They were trying to do something else, the creative team. So I'll give props to WWE on that. But yeah, that was the end of my Great American Bash 2004 review. Now, if I had to pick one match for you guys to go back and watch, it would have to be the Cruiserweight Championship match. Rey Mysterio and Chavo Guerrero, best match of the night. And another match I'll have you guys go back and watch it is the opener, the February match, and probably JBL versus Eddie Guerrero. So those 3 matches I'll have you guys go watch. The rest of the show was pretty much pointless and don't even care about watching the rest. So those 3 matches I'll have you guys go back and watch. But yeah, next review I got coming up, the next American Bash I'll be reviewing is 2005, which will probably be on Wednesday. Yeah, probably Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesdays I'll be reviewing 2005, so stay tuned for that. And also, if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos, please smash that subscribe button. That would really help me out a whole lot. I'm going to try to make it to 300 subscribers by the end of the year. That's what I'm reaching for by the end of the year, 300 subscribers. So yeah, and also go follow me on the Twitter at the TrueJSB, and Snapchat the TrueJSB1, and Instagram the TrueJSB. And enough of ramble on. Hopefully everybody's going to see fireworks tonight, do whatever they're doing, on this Independence Day. And Juggernaut rolling out here, and I guess I'll catch you guys whenever.